Hello, Mark. It's such a pleasure to have you. You have been in this industry for a long time, and I've met you on different occasions, but especially, I think you're one of these people who has a very clear vision in this modern world. You're very resilient. You're somebody who doesn't shy change. I think you're part of change, and this is why it's such a pleasure to have you at this Pet Summit Rising. So welcome, Mark.
Thank you so much, Peggy. It's a pleasure to join you, and I'm always excited to have the opportunity to talk about how we can create new businesses, how we can leverage technology to help pets, and in particular as well the people that love those pets.
Absolutely, absolutely. Mark, what role do pets play in your personal life?
I've got 3 pets at home right now. All of them are rescues. My wife and I have made a lifetime decision that as pets pass in our lives, we always replace them with pets that are in shelters that need homes. And so I've got 2 dogs at home right now, Nash and Jocko, and 1 cat named Gary.
Beautiful, great. So you're one of the people in our industry who actually has pets, right? There are some who don't. It's funny. I do have a lot of pets since 25 years, and I've been in the industry for as long almost. So welcome. So what's your vision? I think you had a tech project in the past. I think you've also been with a big company right before that. Why don't you tell us a bit about it?
Yeah, absolutely. I sit here today with with a little over 25 years of experience in the pet care industry. The last 20 of that has been almost exclusively in global leadership roles for Nestlé Purina PetCare. And within Purina, I had the wonderful opportunity to lead both commercial and technical and R&D parts of the organization in a number of different product categories: pet food, cat litter, and then much of the last decade in building Purina's new business around connected pet products and services.
Yeah, great. So what does that mean, connected pet products and services?
So, interestingly, as I've been told in the past that, Mark, Purina is a pet food company. We talk about ourselves as a pet care company, but we're not a tech company. And I've long saw the opportunity to leverage enabling and emerging technologies to solve problems that pet owners have long had, that have long gone unsolved. And so now in this space of what I would consider pet tech, Purina is now a player in smart devices for pets, in-home diagnostic tests for pets, etc. From Purina's perspective, those offer an opportunity to gain insights into the nutrition needs of the pets, which fuel their food business. But at the same time, they offer insights into the health needs, the predictive health needs of the pets, which is important to the pet owners.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. So you're saying technology plays a major role, right, in the pet industry now?
Yeah, I think I view it as an enabler, right? It enables us to be able to solve problems, pain points, unmet needs, jobs to be done that pet owners have long had, that have long gone unsolved. Now, with the application of technology in the right ways and the right places, we can address some of those long-held pains that pet owners, veterinarians, other influentials in the industry feel.
What would that be? Like, what do you see as the major pain points, where could technology actually actively support?
A number of different areas. A couple that I think really resonate with me, because I've seen that they resonate with pet owners. What I think of as pet parents, since we've humanized our pets to such a degree. One is predictive health, right? Mm-hmm. Technology can enable insights into not only what our pets' needs are right now, today in our homes, but around what the future can look like, and give us insights into what are the changes we can make as parents to these pets that can enable not only a better today, but a better future as well. So predictive health.
What would that be like? Like, what do you have an example for that, Mark?
For predictive health, absolutely. Yeah. So the first, I'll use the first connected device that we launched at Purina just within the last 2 years. It's a technology that I'm the lead inventor on. It's called the Smart Cat Litter Monitor, or the Smart Litterbox Monitor. It's under a brand that Purina's launched called Petivity. And what this system is it's essentially a smart device that you put under the litter boxes in your home, and it tracks maybe a little bit vicariously your cat's bathroom behaviors. But from that, we can gain an insight that pet owners and veterinarians have never had, which is very subtle changes in bathroom behaviors that can be early predictors, early warning insights into changing renal health, kidney health. And this is the problem that kills millions of cats every year, because typically by the time the cat owner realizes there's a problem in the home, the disease is pretty far advanced, and there's never been an early warning tool that can live in home until today with the cat litter box monitor.
Beautiful, beautiful. Does anything come to mind in the dog arena as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Another example would be, so the smart dog collar space has been around for over a decade now. There's a lot of churn in this space. There's a lot of companies that are putting sensors on devices that can go on dog collars to gain insight into a lot of different areas. One of the areas of interest that I've done some work in particular, as an example in the dog space, is gaining insight into early changes in mobility, joint health, arthritis, etc., by being able to track not only is the amount of the amount of time your dog spends walking and running changing, but more particular, how are the gait patterns that your dog has actually changing? Because dogs run in many different ways, and while I may see today that my dog's running as much each day that it has in past years, the way it's running can be changing very subtly. And by leveraging AI-enabled models on dog collar based devices, I can gain insight into how the dog is running, is changing over time, that can give us early warning indicators, again, in this case, that something's changing. We can't yet see it, but there's still time to do something about it, both nutritionally and from a fitness perspective as well.
Right. How in your, it's interesting that you should say that, because I'm always thinking, how, I look into, like I look at the evolution of things, and I'm basically a growth specialist, and also, I'm helping people to take important decisions. So in that context, I always think, where is the journey going? And one of the things I observe is also with humans, right? But also with animals now. Now suddenly we can diagnose a lot of things ourselves. We can even diagnose ourselves, right? You have the Oura Ring, which measures your sleep, your oxygen. So you also have that with pets now. And the question for me is, how do consumers handle that? And where is the role of the vet in that whole thing? How does that change the actual value chain of medical treatments or treatments in general?
Yeah, it's a really relevant and powerful question for sure. My view is not so much seeing that technologies that pet owners are using are going to replace the vet, but they become a powerful tool to enable the vet to do what vets do in a much more effective way and in a much more preventative way than a reactive way, right? Vet medicine today, and many vets will tell you, they spend most of their time solving problems that are already pretty serious, and they have very little time to be focused on preventative type medicine. And I think the technologies that exist today can really enable us to start to think about and actually change that paradigm to give vets much more of an earlier opportunity to engage in preventative health, early onset types of situations, while there's much less damage done to the pet and much more opportunity to create a better future for the pet and for the pet parents.
Of course. Now, where does this whole AI hype fit into that, right? So where does AI play a role, in your opinion? Or where is this going? Because it's so quick, but still it's very difficult to anticipate, right? Especially in our industry, which still has some streams, I would say, which are rather conservative and very, old-fashioned. So where does AI play a role, in your opinion?
Yeah, for me, AI is anytime I hear somebody talking about AI, right, it's a big blinking light because AI can be many different things, and it's evolving quickly, right? In reality, AI in some forms has been around for decades, and in other forms, right, just yesterday, within the last year or two, new forms of AI, generative AI, et cetera, are emerging. And so for me, as a technologist, I look at all of the forms of AI as enabling tools, right? And I'm always thinking through the lens of what's the problem that we're trying to solve, and then look at what are the enabling tools. AI can be one of the tools in the technologist toolbox that can be brought to bear to help solve problems. One of the challenges that I do see often in this entrepreneurial space is people with expertise in specific technology areas are in search of problems to solve with their technology. And for me, this is a backwards way of thinking about it. I always like to start with what's the problem that we're trying to solve, and then let's bring the right technologies to bear to solve those meaningful problems.
So you're talking about reverse engineering, basically, right? From the challenge or from the problem, we find the solution.
Yeah, I think so. Right. I've spent a lot of years in the M&A space as part of the due diligence team at Purina, working with many startups, working in Purina's different accelerators. And one of the themes that I've seen over the years is very bright technologists who happen to be pet owners can think about they recognize that the problems they experience as a pet owner they can solve with technology they have, and then they think they can grow a business around that. Sometimes they can, sometimes that can be quite challenging. But the risk that I think that they run is not being experts in pets or the pet industry. They often become a technology in search of a problem, where I think the better path is starting with what's the problem that's meaningful, that exists at scale, and then thinking backwards through what are the technologies that we can bring to bear to address that problem.
What, in your opinion, is the biggest problem when you think about dog ownership? What is the biggest problem for a dog owner in today's world?
Yeah, today one that's very top of mind for me that I think is very relevant is this tension that exists that I see, where we have more dogs today than ever before being treated with pharmaceuticals because they're anxious, they're depressed. But at the same time, we see the rates of both pet owner reported and veterinarian diagnosed, the rates of anxiety, stress, and depression in dogs continue to go up. And so we've got this tension where we have more dogs than ever being medicated, being treated. The industry of stress relief products for dogs is growing and growing, but the problem's actually getting bigger. Right. And so I think this is not only an enormous opportunity space, but it's a space that deserves time and attention and new solutions.
Interesting. I had an interview with a very nice lady. You can, in the summit, you will hear her. She's actually a therapist for autistic children, but she has a line exactly for that problem, because she describes it as, you have a dog, you walk the dog 3 times an hour a day, and the dog is still destroying its bed, etc. So she's basically pointing at what you're saying. Same issue, she says. There is, so many people medicate their dogs today just because of that. And actually, it's just about finding the balance in the nervous system of the animal. And she developed some things around that. And that's kind of pointing where you're pointing at. So why do you think there are so many stressed dogs? Is it because we are so stressed as humans? Or that's definitely part of it, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. As a species, as a human species, right? We're seeing as well rates of diagnosed stress and the treatment of stress with through pharmaceuticals becoming growing and is very much part of the norm. And as we see our pets as members of our family, we're humanizing and anthropomorphizing them more than ever. I think the natural tendency for us then is to want to treat them just like we treat ourselves.
Right, right. So yeah, right. There's definitely a transfer between what the human thinks. I mean, we think the dog is a human sometimes. I'm not taking myself out of that kind of, scope, but I'm trying to remember this: a dog is a dog is a dog is a dog. So yeah, that's a good point. So if you could make a wish, right? If you could, I mean, because you're such an industry expert. So if you could make a wish, where do you think this industry should be going with massive urgency and with massive relevance?
Yeah, I think there needs to be much more of a focus on how we can not only leverage technology, but create new products, new services, new solutions in general that move the needle from us being more reactive to dealing with the problems and challenges that our pets are facing in their lives to being much more proactive. And this is where I think technology can really enable us to move that needle.
Yeah, I'm doing a comparison now, which some people will not appreciate, but would you compare that with the kids as well? Because we see the same in kids, right? So I don't know how many kids today are tested for ADHD or for, whatever. Do you find there is a certain parallel here, or do you think that's completely disconnected?
Yeah, I think you're 100% on target there. For me, absolutely, there's a parallel, right? I mean, essentially, the animals that live in our homes, right? We think of them as people. They are on the emotional level, the intelligence level, oftentimes of a very young child, maybe an infant.
Yeah, very true.
That they can't speak for themselves. This is a disadvantage they have, right? Where our 1 and 2 year olds often are already talking to us, our human babies. Our 1 and 2 and 5 and 10-year-old pets can't verbalize exactly how they're feeling, and so it creates even a higher level challenge for us as pet parents trying to provide the right care for those animals.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, absolutely right. So to conclude this interview, thank you so much, Mark, for your time. I appreciate it. Do you have any, because this is a business to business summit, so what do you want to share with the other business owners in this industry?
Yeah, I would love to see the other business owners interact more, connect more with experts in the industry. Again, really to make sure that what they're focusing on isn't so much just around how do we generate more revenue, but how do we do that in a meaningful way, the most meaningful way possible, where we're delivering change to lives, right? As a primary focus, that are also enabling viable, healthy, sustainable businesses as well.
Thank you, Mark. Wonderful. I thank you so much for your time, and I'm looking forward to staying in touch with you. That was
Equally,
Mark.
it was a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Mark. Take care, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Bye.